Alrighty, it's time to make the glaze for our delicious toasted pecan bourbon pumpkin cake. Got the pot going here, warm it up. 3/4 cup of packed brown sugar. To that we're going to add a 1/2 cup of butter. I'll let that come up to, so it's starting to melt a little bit. It's not going to take long. So to that, we're going to add some little corn syrup, 2 tablespoons. You can use light or dark. And add in our bourbon, or in this case, rye. So we need 1.5 tablespoons of that. And just a pinch of salt. Take out our whisk and start to cook this. And this is just going to take about 2 minutes or so. So let's take a closer look. Already that's looking like a nice little glaze, but let's just keep this going because we want the glaze nice and smooth. We don't want the sugar to be gritty at all, because then after this cooks down, we're going to add some heavy whipping cream, just about 1/3 cup. Actually, I'm going to take out a pot holder. This is getting very hot. Sugar always gets hot, can really burn you too, so be careful. So I think you can see it's coming up to a nice boil there. So we're going to add in our 1/3 cup of heavy whipping cream. And I just want you to see what happens, because that's going to really bubble when we put the cream into it. Ready? You watching? And we're going to let that cook for exactly 1 minute. Lower that heat just a bit. "22 seconds remaining." But then, of course, we're not going to be able to just pour this on top of the cake. We're going to let it cool for a little bit. 10 seconds, 9, 8. Okay, heat off. Going to add to this just the tiniest bit of vanilla, just about 1/8 of a teaspoon. Now, a little cup and a quarter of sifted powdered sugar. I guess we've learned from the great British baking show they call this icing sugar. And I sifted it because we want to make sure this is perfectly lump free. Not too vigorously, you don't want powdered sugar all over your stove. Just going to whisk this a bit to make sure that there are no real lumps in there. Okay, that's it. We're going to let this sit for about 3 to 8 minutes. We just want it to cool down. We wanted to pour over the cake slowly, not run off the cake all onto the platter. So let me just set the timer for 3 minutes, and then we will check back on it. Okay, this actually took about 8 minutes to cool down. See how nice and thick that is. And I actually checked the temperature, and it's about 140 degrees, so that's certainly you can touch it and not burn yourself. So here's where we're going to work quickly. We have our cake, which it's upside down. You know, we put it in the pan. Of course, you expect it to look like that. We invert it. A little piece came off, but I'll just put that there. You won't notice it. We have our candied pecans, which again, you can actually find those in your grocery store. So if you don't want to make it yourself, you don't have to. I'm going to give this another little swirl here. And go right over that piece that fell off. We're just going to let gravity do its job. I have this on top of a cooling rack, which is set inside a baking sheet. Just going to move this around a little bit. Get it go down the sides a little bit more. It's looking good. And I'm going to take my pecans, which I've on the sheet. I was a little OCD about it. I have them all lined up in the same direction because I want the round part towards the center of the cake. So I said we could easily get 16 pieces out of this. So we'll start, oops, see, that's why you always make a few extra. Start on opposite axes. Press them in a little bit. And now we can easily fill in the spaces. What do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Just shove that over a little bit more. I have a few more, so let's just put a few right there. And I think this would be hit of a bake sale. So that's it for today. This recipe is the pumpkin pecan cake with brown sugar and bourbon glaze. It comes from the great magazine called Fine Cooking. So until we eat again, see you soon. Bye.